9.62% APY. Sounds too good to be true, but let me assure you, it isn't. Today I'm going to explain to you how I-bonds work and how they are currently returning 9.62% APY while still being safe investment vehicles backed by the US government. Join me on the journey to being financially freed. I-bonds, also known as Series I saving bonds, are low-risk savings products that earn interest and are protected from inflation. They are commonly used as inflation hedges and have gained popularity lately due to their lucrative rates. Note that I-bonds cannot be traded on secondary markets like regular bonds, meaning that they can only be bought and sold to the government directly. Before I get into how to buy I-bonds and the restrictions that they come with, I think it's important to understand the formula behind their interest. An I-bonds rate changes every 6 months and is determined on the first business days of May and November. The 9.62% rate that you hear about is made up of two parts, the fixed rate and the inflation rate. The fixed rate is an annual rate that you know upfront when you buy the I-bond, and it won't change while you are holding the bond. The inflation rate is also set on the first business days of May and November and is changed based on changes in the non-seasonally adjusted consumer price index for all urban consumers for all items, including food and energy, or in more simple terms, the rate is based on changes in inflation. The two rates are combined according to this formula. The composite rate is equal to the fixed rate plus 2 times the semi-annual inflation rate plus the fixed rate times the semi-annual inflation rate. If we take the example of the current rate, we can show how this equation works. Currently, the fixed rate is set at 0% and the semi-annual inflation rate is 4.81%. If we plug in these values, we can see the equation simplifies to 2 times 4.81%, which gives us the 9.62% composite rate that we've all heard of. It's important to note that the combined rate will never be less than 0. The combined rate can, however, be lower than the fixed rate if the inflation rate is negative. But if the inflation is so negative that it would bring the combined rate below 0, the government will set the composite rate at 0%. Essentially, it is impossible to lose money with I-bonds. If I've helped you learn anything new, please like and subscribe so that you can help me out. Unlike investing, there is no risk, and I'm going to be releasing a lot more videos with time. So I've already said that both the fixed and inflation rate are set on May and November 1st, and the inflation rate of your bond is set every 6 months. But it's important to note that the new rates take effect 6 months after the issue date of the bond. As you can see on this chart, if I buy a bond anytime in June, the new rate will take effect on the 1st of December, even though they were set on the 1st of November. It does not matter when in the month you buy the bond. Staying with the June example, if I buy an I-bond on the 1st of June, the 15th, or the 30th, the new rates will take effect on December 1st. I-bonds earn interest monthly from the first day of the month in the issue date. The interest is compounded semi-annually. This means that every 6 months from the bond's issue date, the interest that the bond earned in the previous 6 months is added to the bond's principal value, creating a new principal value. To show this in an example, let's say that we bought a $1,000 I-bond in January that has an interest rate of 10% per month. This is very unrealistic, but will make the numbers for this example easier to work with. On February 1st, your bond will generate $100 in interest, and will do so similarly for the next 6 months as interest calculations will be based on the $1,000 principal. After the 6 months, the interest will be added to the principal to get a new principal of $1,600. Interest for the next 6 months will be 10% of $1,600 a month, and so on. I-bonds can be bought digitally or by paper. Electronic I-bonds can be purchased on TreasuryDirect.gov and can be purchased in denominations of $25 and above in penny increments. Paper I-bonds can only be purchased with your IRS tax refund in $50, $100, $200, $500, and $1,000 increments. I-bonds, similar to IRAs and 401ks, have a maximum purchase amount per calendar year. Electronic I-bonds have a maximum purchase value of $10,000, and paper I-bonds have a maximum of $5,000. In order to redeem an electronic I-bond, you must cash out a minimum of $25 or any amount above that in 1-cent increments. After having cashed out, you must leave at least $25 in your TreasuryDirect account. There are 2 options for cashing out paper bonds. Ask your local bank if it can cash yours, or send the bonds to Treasury Retail Security Services along with FS Form 1522. If you want to check the current value of your bond, you can check online on TreasuryDirect.gov in the Current Holdings tab. There are a few more restrictions regarding cashing out bonds that are important to know. I-bonds can't be cashed out until they are held for 12 months, and if you cash them out before it is 5 years old, you will lose the last 3 months of interest. After 5 years, the bonds accrue interest normally and can be cashed out at any time. I-bonds can earn interest for up to 30 years if you choose not to cash out. Interest is also subject to any federal estate, gift, and excise taxes, as well as any state estate or inheritance taxes. Since buying I-bonds for others and transferring I-bonds is possible, taxes can get complicated. Going over each situation would drag out this video for too long, so I'm going to be putting up tables showing a few situations you may find yourself in. Feel free to pause the video and read them over if they apply to you. In terms of reporting interest on your tax forms, you have two choices. You can either report the interest every year or put off reporting interest until you file a federal income tax return for the year in which 1. You cash out the bond and receive what it's worth, including interest, 2. You give up ownership of the bond and it's reissued, or 3. The bond stops earning interest because it has reached maturity. Note that TreasuryDirect will help you with filing taxes, and if you have any specific questions, I would recommend contacting them directly. There you have it, a comprehensive overview of everything that has to do with I-bonds. If you have any questions or want to buy I-bonds for yourself, make sure to go to TreasuryDirect.gov. If the economy worsens, it's important to know what steps you can take to make money during a recession, so make sure to check out my video on how to profit during recessions.